Welcome back. Pew Research finds 66% of young registered voters ages 18 to 24 and 64% of voters ages 25 to 29 identify as Democrats. But the president of the San Diego Young Republicans, Cynthia Cowie, says their ranks have grown locally, and she joins us here in studio to talk about why. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Joey.
So why do you think you've seen that change within your chapter, at least?
There's a huge shift in the San Diego political climate because of the discontentment of Democrat-led policies. San Diego Young Republicans actually came back from a leadership conference hung by our Young Republican National Federation because of our growth in membership by 700% the last couple of years. So we actually got recognized for young YR recruitment, and that's because people who lean conservative want to be able to find a community with people that vote like them and also think like them.
Do you feel like the party on the national stage, the top of the ticket, represents your interests as a young Republican?
Former President Donald Trump and Senator J.D. Vance definitely represent everything that young people are looking for. The policies and the platform that they are implementing and hope to implement when they get elected in November are touching upon the issues that young voters care about. Home ownership through generational wealth, being able to buy your first home here in the United States, being able to tackle the homelessness crisis, and being able to curb the rise in crime that's happening in our communities.
Some of those issues are very San Diego-centric, right? So how do you make your appeal to young voters who might not already consider themselves Republicans?
San Diego Young Republicans have a host of popular events that we do every month, and actually our most on-demand event that we do is these town halls with our local elected officials. So we've had these events that range anywhere from 20 to 60 people, and we've been able to put the spotlight on these local leaders that represent what they want. So for example, we've had El Cajon Mayor Bill Wells that's actually running for Congress to be able to provide federal representation here in San Diego. We've had Coronado Mayor Richard Bailey, who's doing a great job and collaborating with being able to tackle the Tijuana sewage that's happening in Imperial Beach right now. And so that's how we are appealing to young voters, is providing them these opportunities to engage with people that vote like them, but also giving them access to the elected officials that represent them and care about the issues that they want to be able to get solutions on.
This country has become so polarized, pretty much as a young person, your whole political lifespan, right? So do you think that's going to persist, and do young people want it that way?
I think young people want the opportunity to be able to have a political climate where there is an opportunity to be able to reach across the aisle and to be able to provide civic discourse. I have family and friends and colleagues that don't vote like me, but I don't view them as enemies. We might not see eye to eye on the solutions, but I firmly believe, along with our membership of San Diego Young Republicans, we just want our county of San Diego to be a better place so that way we can raise our current families and our future families. So I have a lot of hope for our country. I have a lot of optimism, and that's one reason why I chose to get involved and get civically engaged beyond voting, and that's why San Diego Young Republicans and even young Republicans across California are getting engaged.
Yeah, what do you do as the leader of this organization to reach across the aisle?
So we've been able to, we actually have had opportunities where we've wanted to engage with San Diego Young Democrats, and they've kind of declined those opportunities. But, you know, irregardless, I'm really looking forward to be able to, you know, ensure that Republicans win in November. So that's why we actually released last night our targeted deployments. So we're really excited to support all of our endorsed candidates, and we have candidates that we endorse ranging from the federal level all the way down to the local level, the school board level.
San Diego has swung blue in the past couple of decades. Presumably you want to see a reversal of that trend. So what do you do to make that a reality?
So one way, and in fact the most effective way that we've been able to engage voters, and one way that we're planning to do leading up to November, is doing these volunteer deployments where we engage in door knocking. Peer-to-peer contact, whether that is through neighborhood canvassing, whether it's phone banking or even texting, remains to be the biggest way how you're able to engage with voters. Here in San Diego, if you looked at electoral history, there have been races that have been called and won by only just a few thousand votes, hundreds votes, even like in the singular votes. So a family or a few individuals can make or break those who are winners or losers. And so San Diego Young Republicans, we take that very seriously, and that's something that we're prioritizing leading up to November.
President Biden took a lot of heat for his age and ultimately ended up ending his bid for re-election. President Trump is also not a spring chicken. What makes you so certain he can weather the next 4 years?
A lot of times age can be just a number, but the vibrance and the personality and not only the policies that former President Trump wants to implement gives me a lot of hope, and that's why I'm not so concerned about the age, even though some members might. Irregardless, what's been happening over these last 4 years under President Joe Biden has been a complete disaster. I'm looking for change, and I know a lot of young Republicans are looking for that, but I also venture to say even those that are in the middle, apolitical, are keeping an eye on this election, and I think even that there's those that are discontent with the direction of the Democrat Party are looking for change too.
The majority of young registered voters, as we heard, are Democrats. What do you think when you hear those statistics?
When I hear those statistics, it definitely I view it as a huge area of opportunity. But Republicans have shown that when they get defeated and when there is a challenge, we've been able to rise to that occasion. Following the 2018 federal election, in 2020 on the national level, California Republicans were able to win back 4 House seats. And then from there, we've been able to grow on those leads. And if you look at also voter registration, Republican voter registration numbers have also been increasing over the last several years. Here in San Diego County, when you look at the 2022 election cycle, there were some significant Republican wins on the local levels where we were able to flip a couple mayoral races that were Democrat held to Republican. And so I am optimistic, viewed as a huge area of opportunity, and I know that the San Diego County Republican Party and San Diego Young Republicans are putting in the work.
What do you say to young people who might be turned off by how hostile politics can become and might just say, you know what, I'm not getting engaged at all?
I was one of those people. In fact, if you spoke to me back in college, I was a University of California, San Diego student during the 2016 federal election. So it was during the Hillary and Donald Trump campaign. I can relate to those that view politics as extremely polarizing and want nothing to do with it. My message is that fire and that desire, it's okay to feel the way that you feel because it shows that you care about what's happening in your community. It shows that you care about what is going on with our country. And so I encourage those that feel that same way to use that passion, to engage in the political process, get civically engaged beyond voting. Nowadays, it is not enough to be able to just circle your ballot. Get involved with politically engaged groups and check out San Diego Young Republicans. Although our membership is for registered Republicans, we welcome those that are in the middle, that are discontent with the Democrat Party, and those that are politically homeless. We want them to know that San Diego Young Republicans and the San Diego County Republican Party is a home for them.
There can be so much noise on the national stage. How do you stay focused on California policy, and do you see that as your primary responsibility?
For San Diego Young Republicans, our primary responsibility is not only the California federal races within our county, but even in our local races. That's why for our volunteer deployments, most of them are actually for those that are on the state, but also for local races as well. We have a few school board races that we care about making sure we maintain Republican strongholds and then also flipping them who are Democrat races as well. So our priority is to focus on these elected officials that ultimately are representing San Diego voters, and we're excited to be able to support them.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate getting to know you on the program and getting to hear from young voters. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you, Joey.
And coming up, we give you the facts on a proposition that San Diego's mayor fears could reverse progress on building more housing, while other groups feel it'll make rent prices more manageable. Stick around.